So let's move on to time, also known as duration. 20 minutes is the minimum duration to get aerobic fitness benefits. We'll talk about this with pattern and progression, but some people are going to need multiple bouts of 10 minutes duration in order to get to that. And if you look at the next line where it says 60 plus minutes may be required for weight loss and maintenance, 20 minutes is not going to really end up with a lot of calorie expenditure of exercise. If you think of somebody just walking, maybe in 20 minutes, if they can walk 3 miles an hour, they've walked 1 mile. They've maybe expended 100 calories. So that is not a lot. You know that if we want people to lose a pound of fat, they've got to create a calorie deficit of 3,500 calories. So that's a lot of walking if we're looking at just exercise alone. So if we don't have a good duration, we don't get a lot of energy expenditure. So for a lot of people, using a lesser intensity and longer duration is going to be more acceptable. Some people will say, I'll walk for an hour. I'd rather walk for an hour. I don't want to run, or maybe they can't run because they've got some sort of orthopedic limitations. So a lot of people will accept a longer duration for a lesser intensity. So we can also look at, comparing their exercise and try to set a specific energy expenditure, 1,000 to 2,000 kilocalories per week. 1,000 is the minimum, but if people are really interested in weight loss and weight maintenance, they're going to have to do more than that. Type, mode, also known as mode in the past. What are people going to do? What are their preferences? This is where we have a lot of flexibility here. Just think about all the things we have to offer in the West Center. So even if somebody wants to walk, they can walk on a treadmill or they can walk on the track. Do they like doing the cardio equipment like the elliptical? Do they want to do a group fitness activity in the classrooms? So what do they want to do? So what can they do? Do they have musculoskeletal limitations? Is the pool going to be a great alternative for people with a lot of musculoskeletal limitations? What are their goals? Are they doing the exercise for sport performance? Are they do it for recreation and fitness? And what are they limited to because of any chronic diseases that they have? So what people are going to do can be, part of the art of exercise programming versus the science. But we can find something that people will want to do. And what I like about this skill here on table 7.4 out of the guidelines, when you're setting up a program for participants, some aerobic exercises require a high degree of skill. So if you have somebody who's a newer person to exercise, or they've got a chronic disease, you maybe want to consider exercises that don't have a high degree of skill. So if you look at the table where it says A, B, C, and D, Group A, walking, cycling, water exercise, slow dancing. So everybody can do that. It doesn't require a whole lot of skill and a whole lot of fitness. Group B, little bit higher intensity, but still not a lot on skill. So the elliptical machine, spinning class, running, jogging, aerobics. So higher intensity, but not a lot of skill. Group C activities. Yes, you have to have some skill here. So you have to have some fitness and you have to have some skill. You can't just swim. You can't go in the pool and expect to swim laps if you don't know how to swim. Cross-country skiing requires some skill. Ice skating, roller skating requires some skill. And then certain recreational sports are definitely going to require some skill. You can't play basketball. Basketball requires a fairly good degree of fitness if you actually want to play a pickup game, and you actually have to have the skill of getting the ball in the basket. Soccer too, so good fitness plus skill. Racket sports, have to be able to track a ball, to visually track a ball, and a lot of people can't do that. One of my professors during my master's program taught racquetball lessons, and people would come see him for lessons, but they weren't even ready for lessons. They don't have the skill of being able to follow a ball. So they had to develop that before they could really even take their racquetball lessons. So, what type of skill is involved with the activity? So what is the intensity involved, and in how much skill is involved? So that can contribute to people's enjoyment as well, because if it's going to require a high degree of skill, they may not necessarily enjoy that type of exercise program.